Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I know I haven't filmed one of these in quite a while, but I wanted to bring you guys an actionable video and something that quite a lot of people have been asking for, and that is how to initiate outbound voice agent calls directly from GoHighLevel. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that today. We're going to have a kind of beginner version to show you the very basics, and then I'm going to show you kind of a full production level automation that I've got built out in my own agency to show you what that looks like, at full scale. So essentially the way it works is we can initiate the outbound calls directly from GoHighLevel using custom webhooks. And what the custom webhook does, it essentially sends a message to Retell to initiate the call. And in that message, we can either just initiate the call, but we can also send through dynamic information. So when you see people, using voice agents that can address people by name, it can refer to answers that they've given in a form, that is how we do it. We pass it through using the custom webhook. And then Retell itself initiates the call, because within Retell you can set up phone numbers and Retell actually handles the initiating of calls. Now I've had a couple people ask, like, why would you use GoHighLevel? Why would you not just initiate the calls? And the answers I'm going to give you are really obvious, but they are like the main component of why you would use GoHighLevel to initiate your calls. So obviously within GoHighLevel, it's not just automations and funnels. You can also store like contact and lead information. And that is really important when it comes to creating outbound voice agents, because you want an outbound voice agent that can personalize the conversation. It's kind of the same with like cold email or cold outreach. You have to personalize the outreach for the person to, engage with the voice agent. And when you initiate the calls from GoHighLevel, you can pass through that dynamic information really easily. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Also within GoHighLevel, you have sales pipelines. One of the biggest things I see people struggling with when creating voice agents is that voice agents by themselves are cool, but they're not really valuable. You need to be able to integrate voice agents within a sales and marketing system. So actually connecting up your voice agent nurturing systems with GoHighLevel pipelines, it creates a really seamless system, and you can track, what's happening with your leads, where's your campaigns at, all that good stuff. And then finally, within the GoHighLevel automations, because we can initiate calls directly within automation sequences, we can actually also include different touch points. So within GoHighLevel, you can send SMSs, you can send emails, you can send WhatsApp messages, you can leave voicemails, you can do all those types of things within the same nurture sequence where you're phoning leads. So within GoHighLevel, you can create multiple touch points, and obviously that increases the likelihood that we're going to convert or, engage with those contacts and leads. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive into the very basic version that I've set up to show you guys, how it works. I'll show you the voice agent that I set up. I'll do a quick test call so you can guys see how easy it really is. Then I'll show you kind of my full production level nurture sequence and outbound initiating automation so you guys can see it firsthand. So let's just get into it, all right? Okay, so here I've literally just set up really simple initiate outbound call with Retell agent. We have a trigger, within GoHighLevel you can set up loads of different types of trigger. Usually it's either just add a tag or there's some sort of outside event that's happened. So either a contact might have changed opportunity stage, or a contact might have filled out a form, or Facebook lead form submitted. There's loads of different triggers that we can set, and all that's doing is essentially telling the automation when to run that contact through the sequence. So the trigger that I've just set up is add initiate outbound call. In this example, actually, I'm not even going to use that tag because I can just test the workflow directly here. But this lovely little custom webhook is how we actually initiate the outbound calls. And I'm going to take you through each little sentence here so you can completely understand how to do this yourself. So action name, you can just set this to whatever you want. Let's just say Retell outbound call for beginners. So if I save that, changes the name, okay? Then we have, it's a custom event, so just keep that the same. And this is going to be a post because we're sending information to Retell for something to happen, right? We want Retell to actually create this phone call for us. And you can see here the URL which we're sending it to in Retell is create a phone call, because Retell is going to be making the phone call for us, right? Now, bearer token, this is going to be your Retell account API key. You can see here I've set mine up as a custom value, so I don't need to keep going and grabbing it from Retell and then pasting it into my automations. I can clearly just come into here, type in like AI call API key, find it there, and then I've got my Retell API key ready to go. Okay, and then that's the only headers that you need, or sorry, the only parts you need to fill out here. Headers, you don't even need any headers. And then we come down to content type, and this is JSON. So people see JSON, they get like all kind of stressed because, oh, that's code. I don't know code, but I can still read this JSON. I can clearly see, okay, agent ID. What does that mean? Agent ID is essentially the agent ID that we set up in Retell. So when we're sending the message to Retell, we're telling Retell, use this agent when you're initiating the call, right? Now we come down here, Retell LLM or dynamic variables. So this is what I was talking about when you can pass through that dynamic information about the contact or leads to personalize the call. Now in this example, I'm literally just using the first name to make it simple for you guys so you can understand how it works. So I'm passing through an example of giving my name. So passing through my first name so that the AI can personalize the call and say, you know, hey Matthew, or whatever, address me by name, so it's nice and personalized. Then we identify the from number, so what number are we calling from? Since this is an outbound call, we're going to be using a number that we have purchased in Twilio or Vonage. I have, you know, the numbers that I've purchased as custom values. Again, just for simplicity, you could type in the number as like raw. You could just say like +447, whatever your number is, or if it's an American number, you can say +1,505, blah blah blah. It can literally be anything, but I've set mine up so I can easily access it. Okay, so AI call phone number 1. Yeah, there we go. I just put it in between those speech marks. Okay. So the 2 number is actually from the contact. So we want to use the contact's raw number, because when we are initiating calls, it has to be in international format. So they call it E164 format. And all that means is that the number doesn't have any spaces in it, and it has the country code at the start. So it's either like +1 or +44 or +91, whatever country you're phoning out to. And of course, its direction is outbound. So really simple. Don't be intimidated when you see this JSON file. Okay. Once you see someone talking through it, it makes so much more sense, right? So we're actually just going to test this to show you like literally how easy it is. I've set up a really simple agent in Retell. You know, nothing fancy. It's just a sunny, clean laundromat, and I'm just going to initiate an outbound call to say that my laundry is ready, right? So we just come in here, I'm gonna go test, say, oh, where's Matthew? Here we go. Run the test, and the agent should address me by name because I'm using a custom. So here we go.
Hi, this is Emma from Sunny Clean Laundromat. Am I speaking with Matthew?
Yes, you are.
Great. I'm just calling to let you know your laundry is ready for pickup. Thanks for choosing Sunny Clean, and have a great day.
Cheers, Emma. Bye. So this is something that I actually should have covered when I was going through this JSON originally. When we're passing through dynamic variables, the way I like to think of actually using those dynamic variables in the prompt is this first part here is kind of like the code word. We're essentially telling the Retell agent where to use this dynamic variable in the prompt. So we use this first part as the code word. And then if we go to our voice agent, you can see here that we have in curly brackets, first name, curly brackets here, first name. And that's essentially telling the agent using the prompt when and where to use that specific dynamic variable. So actually, when you're passing through multiple dynamic variables, you might have multiple different variables within your prompt that have these curly brackets, and that's essentially telling the voice agent where and when to use the dynamic information that we're passing through, right? So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you what a kind of full-fledged example of this outbound call system looks like, so you can see, what it looks like to have multiple touch points, to be passing through multiple dynamic variables, and how I actually use them within my own agency, right? Here we have my introduction call form AI qualifying call. So essentially, when someone books into my calendar, they fill out a form about, what's their name, their business name, have they used AI, what have they used it for, why have they not implemented it, all that type of stuff. And then at the end of the form, it says you're going to receive a call from FutureFlow's AI assistant, Lucas, and he's just going to ask you a couple of extra questions. Do you have a minute to chat? And they hit yes, they hit submit, and then the AI gives them a call to ask some more qualifying questions, just so that when I get in a call with someone, I have more context about their experience with AI, and I can ask better questions. So the way this automation works is our triggers. We have the form submitted, so they're the introduction call form. Once they submit that, they are entered into this automation. I also have this tag trigger here, just in case I want to run someone through to test it out. Obviously, that creates a contact, so I'm saving all the information from the form as a contact, so that I can then pass it through in the JSON. I give myself an internal notification that just says on my phone, Matthew has filled out your introduction call form, so I know that they're about to receive a call. I wait 30 seconds, so it's not absolutely instant. Give them a second to breathe, Then there's just a wee drip there, just in case I'm getting bombarded by intro call forms, which isn't usually the case. And then here we have our custom webhook. So if we dive into the custom webhook, we can see that it's very similar to what we had before. We have custom, we have post, we have retail call URL. So like I said before, I've set up this custom value just to speed things up for myself, because across any custom webhook, the initiate call URL for retail is the same. So I thought, why not just create a custom value so it's easier for myself. Same again with the bearer token. This is my retail API key. So even just for showing you guys these videos, it's easier for me to do it this way rather than exposing my API key and having to go edit that out. So now if we come into the actual raw body JSON, you can see it is the exact same as this one, but just with more lines. So as you can see, we have agent ID, we have agent ID. So I've created a custom value again for this AI form call assistant ID. And then here we have our dynamic information. So this is all the dynamic information that I'm passing through to my form call agent. So I'm giving him the contact's name, their business name, and then some context about what they answered on the form. So I ask people, have you used AI? What have you used it for? Why have you not implemented more? What is your goal with AI? And then I can pass that information to my voice agent so it can use that on the call to personalize the call, make it more engaging, and get better information out of the lead. Because I don't want to use the voice agent call to just ask them the same questions. I want to ask them more in-depth questions. Okay. From number, this is another number that I have saved in my GoHighLevel, because that's the number we're doing outbound calls, so we're using our number. The to number is the contact's number, so the person that we are phoning, and again the direction is outbound. Okay, so you can see that this custom webhook, so this first call, is part of a larger sequence. So this is what I was talking about when we have multiple touch points. So here, I'm just recording that I've called someone, wait for the call to finish, and if they answered, then I don't want to keep contacting them if they've already answered. Like, that's completely fine, right? If they didn't answer, I've got a 3-second wait, just so that I can double dial people, because I know sometimes our people are do not disturb warriors, so their phones are always on do not disturb. So if we can phone them 3 seconds later, we will get past their do not disturb. So wait 3 seconds, remove tags, 30-second drip, call them again. And then we can just go through this nurture sequence. So if they didn't answer again, we can leave them a text, and then we'll wait till the next day and we'll call them again, right? So this, you can see how we can easily set up multiple touch points with AI voice agent systems using GoHighLevel. So it is honestly really, really valuable. So I think let's just give this call or this agent a test, and you can hear how it's using the different pieces of dynamic information. Actually, before that, I'll show you the prompt that I've got set up for this agent and how I'm using the dynamic variables that we're passing through. So if we come to the Future Flow form call outbound agent prompt, we have the role, we have the context. So you are calling Matthew from Future Flow immediately after they've submitted the form, and then passing through the dynamic information about the caller. So their name, business name, have they used AI, essentially their answers to the questions on the form. Got given the task here, some specifics, and then the conversation flow. So you can see that we're using the dynamic variable in the conversational flow, right? Exploring their business and AI fit. Again, we're using the dynamic variable there. We're using the dynamic variable there. Using the dynamic variable there again. I'm starting to lose the ability to say the word dynamic, but you see what I mean, how we're passing through the dynamic information using the curly brackets, and using the curly brackets to also insert that information into our voice agent prompt. Okay, with that being said, let's actually just test this out and you can hear what it sounds like essentially. So I just realised that I actually can't test this directly in the workflow because I've not filled in that form, so the AI won't have the context and the dynamic information to personalise the call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this intro call form. I'm going to fill it out as if I was, a potential client, and then I'm going to receive a call from Lucas, and you guys can hear, what it sounds like when the call is personalised with the dynamic information that we're using in the automation. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so here we have the form. Let's just go with Matt. What company should we say? Stabilo Boss. Highlighters. Stabilo Boss. Put my phone number there. No one prank call me, please. Let's go with that. Do you currently use AI systems, tools, or strategies? Yes. What AI systems, tools, or strategies have you used? I use ChatGPT all the time. What is the reason for you not implementing AI? Don't have the time to learn voice agents. What is your business's primary goal when it comes to leveraging AI? Automating, scaling, and making more money. Because that is usually the three that people want, right? Yes, I recognise. After you submit this form, you'll receive a phone call from Lucas, our AI assistant. He's going to ask you a couple of questions to better prepare you for introduction call. Please confirm that you're available for 5 minutes. Cool. Consent. Submit. So Matt from Stabilo Boss has entered the chat. Should receive a call from Lucas any minute now. Here we go. Here comes Lucas.
Hi, this is Lucas from Future Flow. Am I speaking with Matt from Stabilo Boss?
Yes, you are.
Great. Thanks for taking the call, Matt. I saw you just filled out our introduction call form, so I wanted to quickly check in before your upcoming call with Matt. Do you have a minute to chat?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So, what made you want to book a call with us? Was there something specific about Future Flow that caught your attention?
Yeah, the voice agent stuff was quite cool. I wanted to learn more about that.
Very cool. The voice tech definitely gets a lot of attention. Tell me a little about your business. What do you do over at Stabilo Boss?
We sell highlighters.
Highlighters. That's awesome. I bet you've got the brightest business around. I see you've been using ChatGPT quite a bit. How's that been working out for you? What do you typically use it for?
We use it to write emails to customers that we don't like speaking to.
That's one way to keep things efficient. ChatGPT definitely makes those tricky emails a bit easier. So your goal with AI is automating, scaling, and making more money. If there were one thing that might stop you from working with us, what would that be?
Just the price, probably.
Totally get that. Budget is always a big factor. One thing we focus on is creating scalable solutions. So the upcoming call will be a great chance to explore what works best for you. Before we wrap up, I've got to ask, what do you think of me? Be honest. Did I live up to your AI expectations, or does Matt need to give me an upgrade?
You could have been funnier.
Fair enough, Matt. I'll work on my comedy routine for next time. I'll make sure Matt has all this info so he's fully prepared for your call. Before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me?
No, you're all good, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Matt. We'll speak soon. Cheers.
Perfect. So, you guys could hear from the conversation that, Lucas was asking me, I heard that you've been using ChatGPT. Like, what have you been using it for? I heard that you want to automate, scale, and make more money. Like, if there was anything that was holding you back, what would that be? So he was using the answers from the form as context to guide the conversation with that lead, i.e. me. So you can see that there's so much potential with using GoHighLevel, because actually that form that I filled in, I set up within GoHighLevel as well. So it's all connected, it's all seamless, and honestly it has made my process for building voice agents so much easier by leveraging what GoHighLevel already has put in place. So, and for those of you who are watching along this tutorial and wondering, how do you actually get a lead to carry on the nurture sequence after that first phone call? Like, how do you make sure that this condition branch is met? Like, where does that actually happen? I'm going to save that for the next video, because I think that is a video in itself, and the lessons that I'm going to teach you in that video are going to apply to so many different areas of voice agents, not just within GoHighLevel, but genuinely voice agents in general, whether you're building in GoHighLevel or anywhere else. What I'm going to teach you in that episode or video is going to be super, super useful. So I am going to teach you guys, but I'm going to leave it for the next video. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who engaged with the post, watch this video till the very end. I hope you did. And if you guys have any questions about voice agents or GoHighLevel in general, then please do not be shy to shoot me a message. I'm always more than happy to help anyone out. But with that, I will wrap up this video. You guys have taken enough time watching me talk about voice agents and GoHighLevel. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and until next time, I will see you guys later.